Welcome back to part 2 of Honestan's Let's Play Below. Now, last video you saw we got through the first and second floors and we just entered the third floor before we stopped. So let's get straight back into it. I'm in exactly the same spot. I just paused the game. Let's resume. If you're just tuning in for the first time, what we have on us is the following. We have a good supply of food, a couple of potions, and a potion and a stew. We have good health. We're not really using our torches at the moment because we've got the lantern. We're trying to only do explosive arrows. I don't tend to use the other arrows that much myself. We should probably equip the bow and arrow, just in case we do need to use it. We've got some armor we'll use in an emergency if we need to prevent ourselves taking damage. And we've collected one of the shards. So, let's get going. So I think this floor is the first time we come across the nastier variety of the kind of red crystal crabs. And I'll talk about how to kind of deal with those when I come to them. But they're the ones that can really. I've died a couple of times to them. You feel in control, and then all of a sudden you mess up, or your attack doesn't quite go the way you think it was going to go, and then as a result, they get a couple of jabs on you, and that's enough to kill you if you're not quick enough with the bandage. Or sometimes when you're trying to apply a bandage, they can get a third hit on you, and that'll end you. Now you can see this trap was already up, and what you'll find is enemies will trigger these traps as well. I did say in the last video we'll try and find a situation to trigger a trap with an enemy, so we'll do that on this floor. You can see also I killed a snake here. Snakes are a great supply of food. Something to be warned of though is they can drop a type of meat called innards, which can be used when you cook, but if you eat those raw, they're going to make things a little inconvenient for you. You'll start being sick every like 10 seconds or so. I think you throw up, which can get in the way of you fighting as normal. I think I ended up drinking some water, and I don't know, it stopped after that, but I don't know if it's just a coincidence or whether it will instantly cure it. Okay, so this is our first double crab. Now what you'll find is when you attack, if they're lunging backwards like they just did then, you will make a hit. But if they're not going to lunge back and attack you, they will block your attacks, and they will block arrows as well once they're aware of you, once you've aggroed them, to use the terminology. So yeah, that was a lucky one. That is actually how I tend to kill a lot of them, is you just time your jumping attack to when you think they're going to attack, and you get a gauge of that the more you play when they're going to attack. Now I'm in a situation now where I want to use this trap against the enemy, so I'm going to... Ooh, did I not? Oh, we don't have any basic arrows. I forgot, we've not picked them up. So instead we'll just trigger him normally and run him over the trap. Come on. Oh, really? You don't want to come any closer? You sure? There we go. I thought he was being clever then, but no, he still fell for it. So I always trigger the traps, even if you think they're easy and obvious. You'll find yourself chasing down some rat or getting into some unexpected combat, and as a result, you'll accidentally run into a trap that you previously thought was harmless. So it's always wise to at least trigger them to make sure you don't. Well, that they don't persist to haunt you a little bit later. I think my inventory was full when I tried to collect something then. Yes, it was. We can combine these. We can now craft some of our bomb arrows, which is what we want. Just gonna drop those so I can... Yeah, we'll pick them up again, just to get them higher up in the inventory. Other than that, no, we still need some of those like gooey or slimy stones in order to use the blood mosses that is used for bandages. Okay, so we've come across one of the first rooms that you won't be able to get into. There's nothing you can find on this floor that's going to allow you to get in. So this is actually unlocked through using a weapon that you find later in the game. So, okay, we just saw the peril of the double-clawed crab. So you can see I jumped, I hit him, but it didn't kill him, and then he just jabbed me back quickly. But if you wait for his attack and then limp at him, it normally turns out okay. But the main way to actually defeat those, the most consistent way I find at least to defeat those, tends to be using your shield bash attack. So if you use your right click and tap it, you'll kind of disorientate them, and while they're stunned for that little duration, you're able to attack them freely. That's the safest way I found. Oh, we found some slugs. These are good because they can drop that item I was saying that is rare. So the thing that allows us to create bandages. Awesome. Sometimes it's not even just about creating a bandage, it's more about freeing up the inventory space that the other materials take. I find that's almost more of a relief sometimes. But some people won't mind the inventory management, but I'm someone who likes to try and keep things tidy, and I always feel a bit of a dilemma of what to drop and what I might need later. But that's why it helps that I've completed the game once now, that I have a grasp on what is valuable and what is maybe less valuable. Or maybe valuable is the wrong word, but what is going to be useful for me in my playstyle. Maybe that's a better term. Oh, come on. So this is an example of where I could chase it all along and find myself running into that trap as I get impatient. And imagine if I didn't have this on as well. If I didn't have my lantern on, I wouldn't see the red lines from as far away. So, yeah, something to definitely be aware of. So you can see that hunger is kicking in at the moment. Now, we're still quite rich in food. You see, this is an example of innards I spoke of earlier. If I eat these on their own, they're going to make me poorly or throw up all the time, in other words. I think what I'm going to actually do is, because we don't have many of these jars anyway, we're going to just eat food as it is. Because we seem to be picking up enough food on the way to manage. Okay, so we can go left or we can go backwards. So we're going to go down and left to get out of this room. And now sometimes I would use bomb arrows offensively as well. So to equip them, I got a bit confused with this initially. You'd think you'd press 3 while hovering over it like you do with the other items to equip them, but it doesn't work like that. How it actually works with the arrows is you press 3 while it's equipped and it'll toggle between the different types. So you can see it's just bumping the same arrow for me at the moment because I only own this type of arrow, but otherwise it'll cycle through the different arrow types that you've got. The downside with getting out bow and arrow, it takes a while to change back to sword and you can't use your shield in the meantime. So it's, which is one of the main reasons I tend to just play with sword only rather than worry about using arrows. But we'll try and I'll use one here just to show you against one of the tougher ones. And it's great if there's a group of them as well. Like we can probably get all of these here if we do it sensibly like that. But it takes quite a lot of materials to make these items, so I tend to save them for when I'm against a very challenging enemy, which you'll come across. Well, maybe challenging is the wrong word. Very dangerous enemy that if you slip up, that they can pretty much force you to have to use a bandage, otherwise you're going to die. So again, we could have easily have just gone straight up and exited. This game rewards exploration, and through finding like essentials like that when you explore, it encourages you then to carry on exploring for non-essentials and find little bits of things that are going to help you, generally speaking, be it food or whatever. Okay, so we come to another outdoor area. Unlike the other one, you'll see our stats aren't locked here, so it's not. It is safe. I've been here before. I know that there's not going to be enemies around here. We found ourselves another shard. Interestingly, this was the last one that I actually got. I'd found it before, but you can only claim these when you have your lantern. And I had died and lost my lantern. So when I found this once, I wasn't able to claim it, and then I'd forgotten that I hadn't claimed it. So that was like the last piece of the lantern that I was looking for a good kind of 45 minutes before pushing forward and completing the game. Okay, so again, we've got a campfire. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and use the campfire. Again, campfire's mainly for cooking and for storing, and I'm going to try and save as many as I can. One thing I found, so on the life of my character, meaning from when I started without dying up until I finished. So on the life of the character when I finished the game, I hadn't died for a long time. But I had to use bonfires, and you get to a point where you run out of bonfires in the game, which means you can never go back to your storage, and you can never cook food again. So I'm trying to be a little more cautious with it, because I'm aware that if I am fortunate and I do manage to stay alive, I will need these things a little bit later. Now, I don't actually remember all the locations of the secrets. I'm not going to go and explore every nook and cranny, but I do know that we want to be going through this door here, but I think there may be something worth exploring up north as well. So we'll go around. We've checked out the right side a little bit. Yeah, we can see there's a few items for us as well. And the noises here, along with the little clusters of these blue kind of energy light things, really they made me think that there was more to them to begin with. I used to try and shine my light at them, see if anything would happen. But unless I'm mistaken, unfortunately, it doesn't change anything. It creates a great amount of ambience, and it sets the tone, and it sets the whole idea of things being mysterious, and that there's like magic and or energy or life forms in the world that we don't properly understand. But we can actually interact with them. Like these clusters here forever made me feel that. But actually it helps you discover this little door right at the back. Yet another area of the map that I didn't find for a long time. So we're going to interact with this, because this happens to be one of the shortcuts in the game that we'd benefit through at least walking through once, so that we can use it again in future. Same with these markings. These markings tend to represent the blue kind of energy stuff. But I mean, this is about as much as we end up learning about them, which is a bit of a shame. But I mean, until you've discovered that that's all you know, it's not too bad a shame, because it leaves you wondering, and that's a nice thing. So this area now is actually the outside area on layer 2. So we can take a shortcut to layer 2 beach, and then we can take a shortcut down again to layer 3 if we wish. So you're starting to see how the secrets kind of unfold. The secrets, by secrets I mean the shortcuts, unfold and allow you to kind of catch up with progress quite quickly if you do die. Okay, sweet. Now if I recall, I think this will take us down to the 4th layer, and we're not going to skip through the 3rd layer. I'm quite keen to explore it fully, but we will at least explore the route down. My hunger's a bit of a concern. How's the... I think we're going to carry on eating the meat, the raw meat stuff, rather than eating the potions. Because we don't have any spare kind of not cups, you know, the glass things that you cook the potions in. We don't have spare ones of those. Oh, did I pick up that mushroom? Oh no, there it is. Yeah, we don't have spare ones of those, which means... Well, there's two things. I don't want to waste the campfires, and I don't seem it... I'm not going to be able to make many stews through using a campfire anyway, so I think we'll avoid them for now at least. Okay. So yeah, this, I just remember correctly, this takes us down to the ice cave, and This is one of the scarier places for me because there's new ways for you to die, which is scary in its own way. Um, we're gonna finish exploring the third layer before we go down to there, and in case I forget to eat, we're gonna start eating now. Like these points, to be very blunt, you can feel they may be pointless, but I really don't think they are. Without them, I don't think you'd get the sense of that this is a large place for you to explore. It makes it feel more like a world that you're exploring, and I think it's a good thing. Okay, we're gonna disregard the campfire as discussed, and back in we go. So remember, we're going to turn on our lantern so we don't get caught in traps. And we're going to go down and right and hope that it gives us a chance to get back up to there. Now that we're not overstocked in meat, it's going to be important again for us to keep on top of killing the little critters that we find. Leather can't be combined into, like 3 of them can't be combined into something else, which is why I tend not to collect it. It's used for a couple of items. Fire arrows, I believe it's used for. It's also used as the second tier of the bandages. But I tend to find enough string, which is used to make the third tier of the bandages, that it's not very frequent that I find myself picking up the leather. Let's drop that a sec. We can combine these. So here we can make some more bomb arrows. Great, I'll drop the rocks there. Okay, we could do with 1 extra stick at this point, just to help with the inventory and make another bundle of sticks for us to use. Okay, how's this room look? We can exit it on the right. So again, a warning I'd give is be careful running in. When you see a lot of these little enemies, you can run in and try and kill them quick, and it feels quite good being able to take them out and get a lot of crystals back. But just make sure you don't run into a trap while chasing them. Oh, okay, we just come across and lost. One of the magical little critter things. And these are interesting. You can only see them if you have yourself your lantern on. And I feel bad. Like, part of me wondered, like, is that going to cause harm? Because these seem to be the things that are like positively magical in the game. But yeah, they can drop crystals, which is I guess probably the rarest of the materials. And that can be used in a little bit of crafting, but it was nothing too essential from what I found. Snake. Cool. Oh, we got the leather by accident. Let's see if they turn it. Oh, okay, so we've got an enemy up there. The sound, again, I've mentioned sound quite a few times, but it's very powerful in this game because it's relative to your character, despite it being such a distant kind of perspective on the camera. But you can really tell where the enemies are coming from based on the sound, which is nicely implemented. Oh, another one of those. This is me saying they're rare. There's loads of them. Oh, and then I gotta be cautious. I don't want to run onto a spike. And I've already said the crystals they drop, they're not massively important from what I've found so far, so it's not worth risking death. Okay, good. We needed that stick to make a new bundle, I'm pretty sure. Okay, now I think this is a little predefined area where, yeah, essentially this area, you're unable to pass through until you satisfy the criteria of passing in 200 of your crystals. I did the mistake of not understanding it fully to begin with and put items in, and then you couldn't take them out, I don't think. So yeah, be wary of that. Only try starting it once you've got 200. Behind there is a valuable little thing. I might as well explain it. If you don't want to hear it, just mute for 10 seconds or so. But yeah, it's a shop which sells various items. Lots of them are not too useful, but there's the odd armor piece you can buy in there. A crystal helmet, which is useful, which will, if you haven't got your lantern, it still allows you to let out the light, which will help you spot traps when you're running through the game. Yo, they move fast, those things, don't they? Okay. So we've got quite a few enemies up the top left. Try to work out which side of the room we're going to be leaving. We're leaving at the top right, so we're going to explore this area first. Now this is a great example of, like, you don't really want to kill them on the edge because you won't be able to collect these crystals. So sometimes it's worth... these ones are wimpy ones, they don't seem to attack. So if you notice that about them, you'll have the freedom to kind of choose the angle in which you wish to kill them. Okay, now you can see the traps, even without the lantern, you can see them. You just need to be very aware. And when you're running through quite quickly, it's very easy to miss them. I need to slash out a little less of those enemies. I'm actually not that used to finding them. I didn't come across so many of them when I played it through the first time. Okay, here we got two exits, up and right. So I'm going to go up first. We are trying to explore every area of these layers. So that'll mean that we can go up, discover the bit where we started, and then we can carry on to the unexplored area. Missed a bit of food there. So I did say I'd go up, so let's go up and then we'll come back down, I think. Unless this room has a side exit as well, which I don't think it will. No, great. So we can just clear this room out. So we started here, but... Oh, I can hear a noise. Which makes me think there's something of value here. Oh, was it the key we found earlier? No, it's that. I thought it was something else. There we go. So once again, another important reason to play with the sound up. It really adds to the game anyway, in terms of the ambience and the atmosphere. But yeah, I definitely recommend playing with the sound. Nice and loud. I think did I come through this door? I was so close to finding it earlier, but what you'll notice as well is we actually have missed one somewhere, because these tend to come up in order. So we missed one. I can't remember where it was, but we'll see as the game goes on. can't remember how much of this area we actually cleared. Oop. Hello, trap. One thing I've done before is I've done the leap attack accidentally while trying to clear one of those and landed on the trap and died. So yeah, there's many ways to die in this game. If you can smile after it, you've done well. Because sometimes you feel, I think you feel frustrated because often it's your own fault. You know you should have been more cautious. I never really felt I had an unfair death in the game. It was always fueled by my impatience. Which is, I think that's a really important part of gaming. You shouldn't feel frustrated at the game like it was the game's fault that you died. It's a very negative experience for a player, and I think this game does well at avoiding that. Now, I'm going through a bit... I lack caution going through at the moment. I'm just running through. It's a bit careless. So that weird spiral effect you see there is what happens when you shield bash them while they're pulling back their claw to attack. Snake. Nice things about snakes as well is that they don't burrow away. So unlike the little rats, they will run away, and you have a bit of urgency to kill those. But the snakes are quite useful. They just slither around until you decide to put them out of their misery. Okay, so we're in a position now where we have a locked door, and we don't know how to open it. And this is a different way to open. Remember, the brambles earlier was one. This way is opened in another way, and we may lack the resources to do it. Hang on. I think it might be generous and give you the mats you need. Yes. We just need a single arrow, and we need to shoot it at this thing here. So we're going to switch to arrows. I'm going to press 3 to change, not to the explosive arrow. We're going to draw, make sure the aim is on that orange thing. And alas, we have found it. In we go. Again, another bit of nice design to not punish you if you've not been keeping all the arrows, to give you one of the mats you'd need to craft it. Now these chest rooms are, it's worth noting that when you die, these chest rooms will always exist on the floor. So level 3 will always have 2 of these kind of hidden rooms. One of which we could not open, but this one we can at this point. The chests will be closed again once you've died, so it's a good place to come in and kind of stock up. When you've died and you're trying to get back to your corpse. I'm concerned we might have too many torches. Yeah, we're on 8. Okay, it's okay for now. The only thing I tend to keep an eye out for now, after playing it a while, is looking for like pots and destroyable kind of items, because that tends to be where we will find the marbles that give us extra storage within our pocket or stash. I'd also be wary of these stone pillars that we're seeing. The stone pillars, sometimes there's traps behind them, and you can't see much of the trap. That's probably the most kind of unfair I felt the game has been sometimes, is where I could barely see the trap. And I was very fortunate not to have landed on it. Okay, so we've wrapped up the 3rd floor. This is the final unexplored area, which just takes us down to the 4th floor. Fortunately, we found the key, so we're able to push down to the next layer. Now, as mentioned earlier, between the floors, you will typically have like a middle ground here, which will typically have a campfire as well. But you should know, once you've used that campfire, one, you can't use it again, unless you use it very quickly before the fire goes out. But secondly, you're unlikely to find another campfire on that whole level. So it's something to be aware of when making a decision whether you need to use one or not. Oh, I just realized. Okay, so this is actually taking us down to level 5 in the game. We do need to go into the ice layer. I can't remember, is this open? Or is it closed? It's closed, isn't it? Okay, so this is another entrance in, and I took for granted that it would still be open. But it's closed. So we have two choices. We go back up and we go all the way out to this area again. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to continue and we'll come back into the shortcut, I think, and go through the ice area a little later. I don't think we need anything essentially from there now. So do you remember we found a way down to the ice area earlier? When you go through it, you'll uncover a way out of it there. And I guess I did that the first time. I didn't realize that. Yeah. Okay. It's no big problem. It's no big problem. I don't wish to skip areas, but I know it'll be more convenient to go back later. And due to the temperature and the way that you lose heat there, it's really nice to have more stews and like hot food when you're there to replenish your heat. So we might have found something, some more items by then that'll help us achieve that. Okay, so we're about to go down to kind of, I don't know what the best word for this area is. Kind of like the undead area, because there's some human-like creatures down here who are not quite right. Okay, what else is there though? I'm wondering whether we should use a campfire here or not. Yeah, we're gonna stash some stuff. And we may cook some food as well. Because we're low on health anyway. And we can replenish some and we'll find some more food when we're in there. So let's go into the safety of our stash. We might have another marble to use. You see, I forgot I had some food storage here as well, which is handy. So first things first, let's... No, we'll do this after actually, so it lasts longer. And we're going to drink the attacking potion. Probably gives us less health than this one. We don't need to drop anything there. Again, this is a graphical bug from my previous playthrough. It's still there, which is a shame. So let's just disregard those. So this expanded our food slot. Yeah, which is cool. I'm going to actually place a couple of the mushrooms there. These are handy. The blue mushrooms are handy for the ice area. So I think I'll keep those. I can't remember. I think these are defense. Yeah, we'll take those out for now. And we're going to cook with the innards. The innards actually really good. They give you like triple plus. If you mix it with 2 meat and an innards, it would give you the best stew. It's just eating them raw that's the problem. Okay, well, we'll save that for now. I can't remember how much food is available on this floor, so I don't want to get rid of it all. Do we have any more? No, we've unlocked all of those. So this was the main thing we want to do. We seem to be in excess of these. We can use these offensively in here, so we're going to keep hold of some of the explosive arrows. And there's loads of string on this floor, I remember. I don't think we're going to find more of the stones in particular, though. Yeah, let's just place those in there for now. And when I say stones, I meant the slime stones to combine with these. The inventory management is... actually, I'm going to be more particular about it. So, at the moment, I want all my arrows group together. Oh, really? Doesn't let you withdraw it when you only had one of them. Okay, interesting. And then we'll withdraw. What are we going to place it there, I guess? One of the bunch of arrow things there. One of those here. And then we can replace the rest. Sorry, I realize this is really not entertainment for you guys who don't care about inventory management, but I hope there's some of you out there who understand the pain of having a messy inventory. Okay, so we're now going to go ahead and eat. Okay, it did take us almost to full health as well. We'll drink up. And we're going to go ahead and craft ourselves yeah, one of those. Now you're probably wondering, why is Dan not being really particular about the order of these? And you've got a very good point. Why am I not being particular about the order of these? Okay, I won't do the ingredients, but the bottles were annoying me, so... Okay, great. Let's get out of here. Okay, everything's ready. We got 170, I think, of the white crystals, which is a healthy amount again. So this next area is not too bad. There's around 3-4 floors involved in it. It's not too bad. But there's a few enemies here that will pose a risk. To the extent that I may start dropping... Well, first off, I don't care about those anymore, but I may start replacing these. Yeah, we're going to chuck this bandage on slot 1 now. Just in case we need something to... So, to explain bandages, if you're not aware of them, this first bandage will not heal you, but it'll stop bleeding. The second bandage will stop bleeding and recover some health. And the third bandage, the stim pack, will recover all of your health and stop bleeding. So what have we got here? Okay, good. Don't particularly want the arrows, but I mean, they could come in handy. So let's keep them for now. Let's change to them, and then let's open up this door. So I should have kept that lantern on. If I'd run past any secrets on the way, it would have made it more apparent to me. I forgot that I turned it off, if I'm honest with you. Okay, so we're on the 5th floor now. Only entrance is down. Exit is down, sorry. I forgot I had my bow and arrow. So I shot the snake instead of swiping for him, but it turned out okay. Now there's different types of traps on this floor, and I got caught out by some unexpectedly. Like after I cleared this place and I was running in to retrieve my corpse a few times, there's quite a few nasty traps which are very subtle, and you don't see many of them in the game. Now the enemies in here are very, like, they're kind of like humanoids, and when you loot them, they tend to have strings and sticks in their bodies, which I know it sounds a bit weird. This is the first bit of traps we're going to find. So the way I think you can dodge past them, but I just face where the arrows are going to be projected from and put my my shield against them, and you don't take any damage that way. It can be tricky when there's enemies in that section though. Let's just enjoy the music a bit as well. It's epic. So it's important. You will find in most of the areas you will find the crystal enemies. And it's important because you need to replenish the crystals, right? And we can see that there's a key over there. So we'll go and make sure that we collect that shortly. You can see I'm treading quite carefully because I'm a man who's died here and died in the game far too many times. Oh. And this area, along with the next couple of floors, is where you first start to see the true kind of evil, or the darkness of the game as well. And the first time it happens, I remember such a great feeling it gave of anxiety, but what is that? Okay, so we can see this is a floor where we have something we can enter, like a little cavern or something, or a little chest room. Okay, so at the moment we can't open it. Okay, I almost missed it then. Oh, I threw the bloody arrows down earlier, didn't I? I need to shoot it with an arrow. I don't know if explosive arrows do it. Okay, so it's worth explaining here. There's a few different enemy types you're going to come across down here. Oh, hold on. It's also worth explaining this thing. This yellow thing has caused me much... Yeah, I'm not going to chase it. Basically, if you kill it, it drops a lot of food. But before, I've chased one into a trap and it made me very sad. And they burrow away as well, so I was in the middle of saying there's two different kind of humanoid enemies that you'll find in here. The first ones like crawl around, they will be killed in one swipe, but the other ones are a bit more difficult. And they take 4 hits and they will break. You can't knock them back constantly while you're hitting them, so you do need to stop and use your shield at times. I'm going to see if the explosive arrow does the trick here. There's your answer. No. We need to find a real arrow. Now, I'm not sure we're going to find a stick. It's going to be... Oh, hold on. I just realized we got some slugs here, which give us this item, which is useful. Some fire arrows. I don't think we need any fire arrows at the moment, though, do we? Now, what can we drop? We need these, though. Sweet. Alright, I'm sorry to have to backtrack, but I'm gonna go get the arrows we dropped earlier. Is it only here? If it is here, that's great. Nope, I thought it was further up. So that we can open up that secret. So you can just dash through them, but I've messed up quite often. Sometimes they seem to trigger quite well earlier than you'd expect, and so I quite often get hit by it when I do that. So they kind of the shield approach works better. So you can see I use the bandages. When you get hit, the red section of the heart implies like that's how much damage you're going to take if you don't stop the bleeding. Interestingly, you can stop the bleeding on any open fire. You can kind of scald the wound closed as well. It does a little animation and sound, which is quite cool. Oh, okay, there's another one of these yellow things. We're going to try and kill it this time. There we go. And when we loot it, many noms. Oh, okay, sometimes they drop like 4. That was mildly disappointing, but... Okay. What's in here then? Okay, so this means we're going to get an armor or a weapon or something. As always, keep an eye on the pots. What have we got? So we got some weave. We're going to leave the bomb. We got bomb arrows as it is. We found a hammer. Now this is something that's going to allow us to open one of the doors above that we came across. So there's like a a switch, almost like a hexagonal switch on the floor. Smash him with a hammer and he'll open the door that is, or an area that is close to that switch. We're not going to run back. We may go back through a shortcut later to try and get to those sections. Okay, so we can go down. We need to go left. Well, that makes me wonder what's down here. So these are the areas which are more difficult. Oh. Okay, bandage. I don't know how it got hit. I think the thing that's more tricky is the beams isn't the same line that the arrows shoot, but it's quite natural to think it will be. And I think that's one of the ways that people get hit by those, including myself. Yeah, so I'm dashing early, so I end up just... All you need to do is... Oh gosh. Holy cow. I've never been killed by those traps before, and that was far too close for comfort. Don't try and demonstrate how the mechanics works. Just avoid them, Dan. It's fine. Okay, so did we have a key for here? Yeah, we found the key. We're going to push on just to explore around here quickly. There could be traps in here. I'm very... The crypts, as I mentioned earlier, some of the more subtle traps that will one-shot kill you in the game. So I do tend to tread a little more cautiously around here. Okay, that's fine. We could loot these and get string and stuff, but right now I'm not so fussed on doing so. We've got quite a bit of weave already. I was shining the light to one just in case there was one of the fragments up there that would have given me a reason to go up and explore that little tiny bit. I didn't. Okay, floor 6. It's more of the same essentially. This bit is. We are gonna make sure we keep up on meat. There's some sections which are a lot more scarce on food. Okay, we're thirsty at the moment. This section is very low on water as well, which means we may need to drink a potion if we don't find any. There are places though, so we will hold out just for a little bit. Oh, we took 2 hits there. Oh. Okay. We're not going to heal because we're going to eat food, which will basically heal us as well shortly, so... So when you can hear that whispering noise that you can hear now, that means that you have the upgraded version of this enemy somewhere. The one that I mentioned takes like 4 hits or so, like these ones. Okay, unless there's a puddle of water coming right up, we may need to have a drink. Alright, let's do it. Okay. You'll see we take kind of strength from this and heal over time when you drink those sort of stews. I'm trying to remember the layout of this map. It's not always consistent. It's worth noting. Oh yeah. Did I just... Now I don't have any more of those mosses. You see we had loads of them earlier, right? And it makes you feel like... Oh, we don't need to collect all the mosses. We're probably in a position now where we're not going to find many mosses. We're going to be needing to go to our stash. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so we got a room that, an extra little room here that we can access. So this is a tricky one. If you walk, you don't trip over the tripwires. But it's natural to try and chop it, and if you do that, you'll get an arrow in your side, so... I want to chase them more... Holy... I'm not even sure how I activated that. Did I just hit it? I'm not positive. I've forgotten how it works. Okay, so what did we get there? We got... City Key. I believe this is the item we use to get to the next layer. That's good, it means that we can progress. I really love the atmosphere in this play as well. Okay, enemies over here we can see. Kind of a dead end. It's only going to take us back to where we were, so... Path, you could feel... Oh. Is it worth exploring? Okay, so this is the one who kind of wears pants and walks upright is the one that takes multiple hits. So patience is beneficial against these guys. The ones in pants, that is. And I wasn't showing any patience there, unfortunately. Because they attack in like flurries of 2. So if you can just hold out for that, you won't take a hit. But if you try and attack early before they finish their flurry. Oh, no, no, no. Come on. Come on. See, these enemies, you get hit once and they die as well. But you can see how the game has many dangers, sometimes in the most surprising form. So I had to use one of my big bandages then, not the biggest, but the upgraded ones that heal as well. And we're thirsty again, as we're going to try and move through a bit faster. You can actually, that's a point, you can replenish health through eating as well, so let's see. Yeah, that gave us a bit of, let's take both of those. Oh wow, more of these as well. Ah, damn, they didn't give us the item that time. The sludgy rock. Okay, so we know there's danger here. Did we explore down here? We did explore down there. No, we didn't. No, we did not. Me putting my shield out is my way of forcing myself to go slow. It's a little kind of defense strategy I came up with. In one, it'll block arrows from traps that you find in this area, but secondly, it forces you to stop and to have reaction time if you come across a nasty one-shot trap, which we haven't done in here yet. Oh, there's a chest here. Arrows. We're already carrying some, that's the only reason I picked that up. Oh, water. There's water there. Good, good. So we've got a water supply now. And this is just, okay, we've got, it's worth checking out because it's one of those rooms with an extra room in it. Is it already open for us as well? It is. Okay, let's check out what's in there. Okay, so we've got water, a marble, I just saw. I didn't even notice that marble then, that was fortunate. And then a few items. weave. What's the other item? Oh, that stuff is quite useful as well. Okay, let's drop these a sec. Let's take the gunpowder looking stuff, which means we can then craft some explosive arrows. We can drop the regular arrows, and then we'll pick up the stones. I think we're going to actually save. I don't think we need the bonfire to be used here. I'm trying to save them as much as I can, so I think it's worthwhile not to use this. Okay. So that was generally useful, especially when as you saw, I was getting to a point where thirst was a big issue. So that was one way of solving the issue of the thirst. I don't think I've ever died from thirst, but I've come close to it. It's been a stressful factor quite often. Okay, there seems to be nothing over here. Some rats up here as well we could kill for a bit of extra food. Alright, we're not going to chase them around. We're going to make some progress. So these traps are really nice. What's nice about these traps is if you get hit, it's fine. Whereas the other traps we've come across in the game really are like, you get hit by it, you're dead. Okay, cool. And this is where we place the key. And this is where we enter the city. It's not quite like a city, I know, but still, it's a really cool kind of scenic part of the game. When I used to first play this, I tried like putting bombs and everything on so many of these doors, but to no joy. The places you can bomb in the game are pretty obvious. Like that I tried as well, but no. I always wondered with these, I don't think you get anything out. I've not tried it. I've always wondered if I switched to the hammer. So the hammer we picked up earlier, right? Oh no, I didn't mean to drop it, I meant to equip it. So the hammer's interesting. You slam it down like that. I always wondered if that would do anything on those. But it's just been proven. Oh, it's just been proven that it would not do anything. Oh. Okay. So we're about to come to one of the most useful little buildings in the game, especially if you're struggling to complete the game especially. So first off, if we go into here, this will be a shortcut back for us to the main beach area. But this room here is a shop, and in the shop there's some special items which will make certain parts of the game a lot easier. So we have the dark helmet and we have the dark armor. Dark armor less useful. Like the other armor, you consume hits when you get hit wearing it. But the dark helmet is permanent and it reduces the damage you take from dark enemies. And dark enemies, you'll get an idea of what they are later in the game. So yeah, it's a very useful item. In fact, do I want to pick it up right now? Yeah, we're gonna pick that up now and place it in our stash. I mean, ultimately I should probably just wear it now. Yeah, we'll wear it now. Because we don't plan on dying, so I guess we don't need to look after it as well as I would have done on my first playthrough. Okay. We're going to go back to this checkpoint in a moment. But this obviously looks tempting. Found ourselves some armor again. So again, this has a few pieces of armor. So I think I get hit twice and it absorbs those hits. But I found it does it for no matter what size of hit it is, it will do it. Which can be unfortunate if you're getting hit by a small enemy and it absorbs a hit. It just feels like that was wasted. So I've never really found great benefit in the armor, but I'm going to try and use it when I'm low on health. Okay, excellent. I think that's all there is to explore down here. Okay, so we'll just head back to discover this shortcut, and then we'll call this video here, as we've pretty much made it now to the end of the 6th floor, and it'll take us through to the 7th floor, and we'll carry on the next video from there. But let's just get back to base so we can see what to expect, or where it takes us at least. So we've got some weave, we've got a bomb. The bomb I will probably drop for reasons explained earlier. Gunpowder stuff's okay. Drop that just for a second. If we take this... Oh, we don't have... Oh yeah, we do have a bundle of arrows. Cool. More explosive arrows. We're going to have to stash some of those away soon, because I don't know how useful it is keeping. We're going to be able to make a few bandages, so we're taking those bits of stone. Oh, the joy of smashing up stuff. Finding marbles. Okay, sweet. Let's see where this takes us back on the main island. So again, we've been quite fortunate on this playthrough. We haven't suffered any deaths, but normally these shortcuts discoveries are very, very useful and a big relief as well. Okay. Just try and loot everything we got here. Let's see where this takes us. Excellent, so this is a bit actually right at the beginning. A little doorway there. So if we come across, we should be able to find ourselves on the beach. There's that boat from the start. Yeah, and we're going to go over to this campfire and use it. Because I want to use... Oh, is there fish in there? Oh, we don't have room to take the fish meat anyway. Yeah, I want to make some bandages and store some items as well, because we got a lot of the explosive arrows now. I don't think we need as many as we've got. So we're going to fall asleep here. Go to our storage area. And we can claim the marbles as well. I think we've kept enough of the campfires not to worry about. Like, this isn't a necessity right now, but it's more of a convenience. So let's see, what will this upgrade? Okay, our armor storage. We have another one which will upgrade our item storage, which is really the one we wanted right now, if I'm honest. The food, we can cook a bit of food. Let's do that quickly. So we want to cook. Do we do a potion-based one? Yeah, let's do it. So the little timer icon on this one means that your stats won't go down for a set amount of time, which is pretty handy. Part of me thinks I should eat one of them now. Or drink. Yeah, let's do it. Sorry. I think what we'll do is we'll drink this. Then we will... yeah. do it this way. Just to play it safe. Because you never know when we're going to use our next campfire. Okay, so we're going to get rid of some of these. We should... And then we're going to actually craft a couple of bandages, which will give us some more room as well. Nice. We're going to drop the torch. We don't need that. What do we have in here we may want? We'll take one of these in case we find another stone. We'll take one bundle. And I guess take that for the same reason as taking this out. Yeah, that should do fine. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I think we're pretty happy with that. Oh, the armor, I guess we could... We don't need both of these at least, right? Okay, so we're going to head out of here. And then we'll save it. Well, when I say save, I mean we'll end this video here, ready to continue the next video from this point on the beach. So as always, we'll have a quick look at our inventory just so you can see where I'm leaving off. We can see we're carrying on from the same point next time. Okay, so we have this in our food. These are our items. And our lantern is currently this much progress. Awesome. Thank you for watching, and come back for part 3 where we will keep pushing through floor 7 onwards. Take care.